So these are for angles that are half of what we're normally used to, right? So for example, if I asked you to find sine of 22.5, oh my gosh, how random is that? 22.5, how could you do that mentally, right? It's such a random angle. But if you think about it closely, right? Think about 22.5. Is that half of another angle that we're used to? It's half of 45, right? And 45, pi over 4, that's one of our favorite angles, right? It's on the unit circle. So if you have an angle that's half of an angle that we know on the unit circle, there are ways to actually solve it mentally, okay? Or not mentally, but manually, okay? And here are the ways in which we do that. Now, the reason why these are some of my favorites is because you've got all these roots, and then a lot of times inside the root, you can get another root. So you'll get like the square root of 1 minus root 2, and that's just fantastic, so eye-pleasing. And you'll see here, just like similar to the other ones, we have sine, cosine, and then for tangent, we have 3 versions. And we know now from the double angles that if you have the 3 versions, just use the one that's most appropriate for that purpose, okay? Now, before we get too much into this, let's do some algebra review. And like literally algebra review from like, you know, back in the day when you were also young, okay? So first and foremost, you have 1 plus root 2 over 2, okay? All right, so here the common denominator is going to be this same number 2, okay? And then we're going to do a loop. All right, so this is my cute little way of doing it. So 2 times 1, that's 2, plus that way, so 2 plus root 2, okay? That's it. No, the 2's can't cancel, because if you were to cancel it out, you would have to cancel like this, and something here. Now, if you have something in a root, it can never cancel with something outside of a root. All right, I always think of it like the numbers inside the root, consider them as being in jail, and the others are like outside of jail. And people outside of jail can't associate with people inside of jail. That just never happens. Yeah.
If it was 2.
If we had 2 plus 2 root 2 over 2, then
At least everything is.
this 2, and this 2 would have canceled. So it would have been 1 plus root 2. Okay? All right, let's do this next one.
Okay.
Common denominator is going to be a 2. What am I going to get on top? 2 minus root 3. Okay? So multiply this way and then add that way. So 2 plus negative root 3. Okay, here I have a square root. What can I combine inside?
The root.
The 1 and the 3, right? So that'll be a 4 minus root 2. And guess what? That's it. You can't do much more.
You can't take the 4 out of the.
You can't take the 4 out of the square root. It doesn't work that way. Okay? So if you have the square root of 9 minus 4, how much is that? That's the square root of 5. All right?
Yeah.
And the square root of 5 is, 2 point something, whatever it is. Now, is this the same as, can you take this out and say, okay, root 9 is 3, minus root 4 is 2, and that's a 1?
No.
You see how you get a completely different answer?
Yeah.
You can't do that. Okay? All right, here, couple ways to do this. The best way to do it, again, so there are 2 things we could do here. We could do what we did up there. What you could also do, let me show you another way. You see the denominator here, right? You could, well, you know what? I think I want to do it the same way. So, yeah, so it'll be 1 minus root 2 over 2. All right, and what about here?
Wait, that's it? It's
Yep.
It's literally the same thing. It's 2 plus root 3 over
Oh, because I made a mistake. What did I do wrong here? 2 minus root 2. Sorry. And what about here?
It's 2 plus root 3 over 2.
Right. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is actually stop here for today, and then I'm going to continue the rest tomorrow. However, you have homework from here, and I'll tell you which ones they are.